if you're finding a spark of joy in what you're doing, it's usually a clue that you should continue down that path. And so for me, it's like, as soon as I see like, oh my God, I'm having joy here, keep going. If the joy is leaving, you have to start saying, like, am I procrastinating, or am I trying to give up on something too quick? Or is there a signal I need to pivot about? And that's something you need to discover. And I'm not going to give a prescription to anyone, because everyone's unique and their journey is unique. But the momentum and the forward movement, I think, is the best idea you can do.
How do you ensure that you don't make that same mistake again, where you get so into this tree that you miss the forest, or you don't see that switching models or evolving your current model is probably for the best because you were locked in on that one, got to do it this way. I mean, how do you keep that mistake from repeating?
Yeah. I don't know if I necessarily label it as a mistake as much as it was just a stop along the journey, right?
Good.
I don't even know, I don't think I would have been as ready as I am to serve the clients that I serve if I wouldn't have went through that journey anyway. So it's almost like, do I want to prevent it, or is this just the path? I think if I'm trying to prevent all these mistakes, then I'm not moving at all. Did I learn a ton? Did I get to serve people? Did I create case studies? Did I build programs and material that I'm now, like, some of the B2C stuff that I'm using, I do training workshops, and I still use that material to put into a workshop for a group of CEOs. So like, nothing was put to waste. And I think the only thing that would be like a regretted opportunity is just if you're just so paralyzed to not move anywhere, you're not even taking chances. Now what's great is I know for a fact that I'm not the best to serve this audience, but I've made some partners that are really good at serving that audience, and now I can be an affiliate to them. That's a bit more fun. But that one thing I do neglect, and I have to keep myself on top of, is the joy factor is actually more important than we realize. Like, if you're finding a spark of joy in what you're doing, it's usually a clue that you should continue down that path. And so for me, it's like, as soon as I see like, oh my God, I'm having joy here, keep going. If the joy is leaving, you have to start saying, like, am I procrastinating, or am I trying to give up on something too quick? Or is there a signal I need to pivot about? And that's something you need to discover. And I'm not going to give a prescription to anyone, because everyone's unique and their journey is unique. But the momentum and the forward movement, I think, is the best idea you can do.
Yes, and to build, always build, never but, always building. Your thinking is spot on here. I call this eternal optimist thinking, that it wasn't a mistake. It was what needed to happen for me to gain the experience, to have this new level of thinking that I can share with people and teach to this experience. So I may have misspoke when I said the word mistake. Whether it happened on purpose or not, it happened, and you can learn from it. So you've learned from it, and your experience is guiding you. Just such a key nugget out there, dear listener, to hear what Jason just shared. It wasn't a mistake. There's no such thing as failure. It's stuff happens, and we can learn. You can use that as a springboard, and Jason just did that beautifully. So fantastic. Fantastic. So, well, we look at here. We're getting ready to go into 2024, and I'm curious, what is the immediate, like 1 day, 1 week, 1 month vision, or the year, or what's next in the world for you, Jason, that you're passionate about?
Yeah. Well, one of the key things I would do regularly, and again, this is going to be interesting to open up on. So I have a one-page strategic plan that I complete every year. And this is inspired by Scaling Up, Rockefeller Habits, Vern Harnish, and Growth Institute, just giving the credits where the credit's due. This is a model that allows you to set 3 year, 1 year, big, hairy, audacious goals, have your values, all that stuff laid out in a single page, and then you use that as a roadmap. And what's very, very interesting is 3 years ago, I had made that blueprint for what would be the ideal business that I always wanted to do. And I put it on hold because I went to launch a book called Selling with Love. And I went into this B2C business that ended up being something I needed to correct. And when I did that self-discovery and I took that step away and put everything on pause, I started building everything around what I'm doing now was actually a reflection to the original business plan that was there before the book. And so I realized that I already had the blueprint. My soul was already screaming out about what to do. And it was basically, I had to go do this little side quest. And then I came back right on track. And to me, what it is right now is I think we're having a crisis of consciousness on the planet. And I think that there's some amazing spiritual teachers out there that are raising consciousness on the planet. God, do we ever need it? Like, technology is moving fast, it's exponential, but as humans, we don't know how to handle it. We need some guidance. A lot of our structures that would hold our spirit together have been less accessible, slightly perverted. People have drifted away. So how do we do movements that allow people to come back and be reconnected so that we actually treat each other like good humans, and realize we're on this rock, floating together, and we need to stop this conflict, stupidity stuff.
Yeah.
So spirituality, I think, is a very important aspect. And what I realize is there's a lot of amazing spiritual teachers that just don't understand the sales and marketing side, and I can help them tremendously. So to me, like, if I think about the big, hairy, audacious goal, long-term vision is I want to work with the best spiritual authors that are trying to raise human consciousness and support them in the best way possible. Basically be their guardian angels for the business. So I can come in and make sure they're not like, my God, there's so much cutthroat abuse and rip-off and scams that happen for people that are in that space. So I want to come in, I can audit them, bring in the team, bring in the results, and that brings me a lot of joy. And that's been what I've been focused on and excited about these days. It doesn't make me let go of the mission around selling with love. That whole thing's around like douchebag marketers and salespeople exist, but if we treat good people with the tools on how to sell effectively, there'll be no marketplace for douchebags. I mean, those are my two big things I'm really excited about.